Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Cats and Rats After Dark. I'm your host, Kirby Lupo, joined alongside Cody Stevens, Nick Levine, and Cesar Lucero. Coming off a Panthers victory here, so we're going to talk a little Panthers off the top, and then we've got a lot of topics here around the NHL. Obviously, get into the playoff standings and some kind of crushing injuries right now for one or two teams around the NHL. But gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. As we mentioned before, I have the Vancouver Minnesota game right now. Marcus Pettersson probably gonna get fined or suspended for that
Oh, you
one.
think it's a suspension?
He left his feet,
Oh,
and that's the one thing.
Yeah,
I'm
I
looking
just saw
for.
it live. I didn't catch
But
the.
I mean, Undermanned Panthers, what a win! Uh, versus a Buffalo team who has been hot as of late, even though it's late in the year. Carter Verhaeghe 1-1 on the night. So
First
hey,
multi-point game since
A lot
February.
of new players stepping up.
Yessi Puliarvi.
Yes,
Reese,
Uvis Belinkis, Jacob Megna, Carter Verhaeghe tonight, obviously. Thought that Marchand had a rough night, kept turning that puck over. Needs to be a little bit more careful there, but
I believe the Panthers are 6-0, Nick, in shootouts this year.
I
Yes.
believe so. But Vitek Vanacek, second win as a Panther, both against the Buffalo Sabres.
He's
So,
12-2 all time against the Sabres. I think best in the NHL versus that
to
franchise.
be fair, who isn't? But
I get the best.
hey, we told you, Nick. Vanacek is going to be all right.
no, I'm not worried about Vanacek because if he started, I'm saying
If Vanacek's starting in any game, we're just
gone.
Sell those tickets.
Yep.
Sell those tickets, make some nice money.
I don't know who would buy them,
Prices.
but anyway.
Can I just say something off the top? I did get some visuals sent to me earlier today on Saturday here. Matthew Tkachuk looks pretty good at practice. Stop, starting, acceleration, different things like that. So looking pretty good.
Pretty good. Larry David would be very impressed.
Yeah. I think you might have saw it.
Yeah. Pretty good. That's all I'll say. I did see it.
It's really funny. We haven't seen Matthew Tkachuk play for the Panthers in like 2.5 months, which is like kind of forget. Like you don't forget he's on the team, but sometimes you forget.
Yeah, like how the team operates, Cody. But I was getting used to watching Alexander Barkov, and then they take him out of the lineup again. But I understand playoffs matter, but I really like how Barkov came back and really got the team going in the right direction here.
Go ahead, Cody.
I was going to read, Megna has been impressive, or am I just used to subpar D play? Megna has been just steady.
He's been very steady.
Yep.
You can be impressed.
And here's the thing.
And I think he was very impressive in the penalty kill. The 5-on-3.
Yes. He could have
very good.
He almost got that puck there at the end, and that pissed me off. The freaking, especially when you almost killed it off, and then they scored.
Nick, I don't know if you're noticing at the rink, but he's covering two guys at once. And that's what I get on our defense about. They don't do a good job of covering one guy.
Right. But here's the thing. He's getting nasty in front of the net. It's like you don't want to go to the front of the net when he's there, right?
And then he's coming up to the point and defending there as well.
And here's the thing. He's not just on his stick, off his stick. He's joining the rush. He's jumping up in the play. He's actually activating.
He was behind the net a couple of years ago.
Right? So it's like I'm kind of seeing everything I need to see. He's been very impressive. He's gotten varying minutes, different responsibilities.
Yeah,
I think he's played well in every situation. And Uvis Belinkis, ever since he got called up, has been playing probably his best hockey as a Panther. I'd say.
It's amazing what competition does, right?
Right? So Belinkis and Megna have been playing really well, and it's like, I know we were worried about the defensive depth here, and it might not all be solved, but I think we take a look at it, and it's like, okay, we got some guys here that can play. It's like we got some capable players back here that could help us for a long run. But again, that remains to be seen, because all that matters is next week, a week from now, the NHL playoffs will be underway, and it's just unbelievable to think, and we can hopefully go on a journey again, So I'm really looking forward to it. But
I'm so stoked.
I'm so excited. I am so excited.
We definitely have to catch before the game.
Yes. I thought I texted Caesar today. we'll leave that for another day. But I did want to ask you guys on the bottom 6 run, since we're talking about the Panthers. What is that looking like for you, Kirby, Cody, Caesar? What are we thinking in terms of maybe Puljujärvi and like where?
What team am I playing?
Let's say Tampa, because Toronto won tonight.
Lundell, Rodriguez, Marchand.
I mean, Lusto.
Sturm, Lusto, Greer.
Okay. And Boakfist comes out.
I don't think Maurice is going to take Lusto off the third line.
I don't think so either.
Now,
here's the thing.
You asked me, not Maurice. You didn't ask me. You didn't ask
Kirby.
Me. You asked me.
What are your thoughts on some of these other guys? So Nico Sturm was 69.3% in the face-off, won 9
Okay, that's what he's been for the year, right?
He's been around
70,
60-ish%.
But
obviously, the one thing I've been really encouraged by seeing is not just we just talked about the defensive depth, is the forward depth. You have Jesse Puljujärvi at 9 hits tonight. He's got 23 hits.
And 14 plus minutes too.
Yeah, over 14 minutes. He has 23 hits and a goal in 3 games. He's working his ass off. Anytime the puck is in the vicinity, I know we're going to use that word to discuss another topic tonight regarding the game, but anytime the player the puck is anywhere near a player, Jesse Puljujärvi is finishing his back. And over a long series, that really starts to wear on teams. I also think
I don't know if he's a player that you play every game though.
No. Not
he's
for
a spark.
Guy.
He's a spark plug player.
He's a spark plug right now. And I think when you take a look at guys like Gadjevich and Nosek, not that they're necessarily going to be playing for a playoff game, right?
Could he be like your Steven Lawrence of last year?
I guess a bit, but I don't remember Lorenz hitting everything that fucking moved like Puljujärvi has.
As far as playing the minutes of playing.
I'd have a little bit higher expectation on him than say a Poso.
Yeah, okay. Like I don't know. It's like this. Like they're running into the same thing with last year, where they have about 4 or 5 guys, maybe 6 now with Puljujärvi that can play the fourth line adequate. Because I know Nick doesn't like this guy, but Jonah Gadjevich has been really good the last
I've been very impressed with him the last
3 weeks.
Yep.
And as far as also Nosek has been playing well.
Yes,
even though he hasn't scored. So that's another guy that potentially could be on.
I don't know. I'm not necessarily looking for goals from my fourth line. I'm just looking for hard physical shifts, just stuff in the offensive zone. If they score, that's an added bonus.
Yeah, offensive zone time, Cody.
Yeah, just zone time. Like I don't like for each line. I can't look for scoring like every time. But I know you would like them to score. But fourth line, like our fourth line last year in the playoffs, they just had a lot of good offensive zone time. They didn't score like every game, but they were good enough to they were good enough to keep a team honest, roll 4 lines, play 10, 11 minutes, keep your top guys fresh, especially if it's a high special teams type of game where Barkov, Reinhart are probably up to 20 minutes, something around there.
We might see some high event, high special teams games against Tampa. I wouldn't rule that out. So you have to be able to adjust and adapt within those style of games. I don't know if that completely favors the Panthers if that happens, but you got to be ready for those type of games.
I mean, high event hockey will never favor the Panthers in any series, to be honest, because they aren't that type of team anymore.
And the way that teams are skating and playing styles, that wouldn't be as conducive to us. I agree with that.
But yeah. It feels dead. Let's go. What's first up on the docket here?
Sure. We're gonna go first with Kirby's poll question this week. Let's kind of pull this up here.
Yeah, and this was pulled out before I think Carter Verhaeghe scored his empty net goal and his goal against the Buffalo Sabres.
I have a big problem with this.
Go ahead.
I selected option C, by the way.
I selected option A.
I did as well, but I don't know if I got a vote.
Because if there's anything here that is most likely to happen, it's option A.
Yeah, I agree, Cody.
Like, I don't believe that Kachuk and Ekblad are going to be like that peak form immediately.
Yeah, and I'm saying both together. That's why I made the poll interesting, more difficult. I didn't say one or the other. Both have to be in peak form.
Like, the thing is like Ekblad, it's more pressure on Ekblad to be on peak form than Kachuk, to be honest.
I do agree, because I think Kachuk on the wing can hide and kind of float around and find his game, where Ekblad, as soon as he has those puck touches, as soon as he has to move the puck, he has to be precise, crisp.
One of the things that Aaron Ekblad, I think he talked about it this morning, and this is Saturday, April 12th. He said in his, I guess, post-practice media scrum that it's not the first time he's gone into playoffs cold. I mean, he's done it before, and he thinks that the rest on his body, he says it feels like game one to him. I think that's the quote he used. And I feel like, obviously, having that rest, especially with the back-to-back cup runs, and the fact that he's done this before. He's come into the lineup after missing long periods of time. So I would guess I'd be a little bit more concerned if it was somebody else. But Aaron Ekblad, he's a 10-year, 11-year pro. And I feel that he has experience handling this type of situation. So I'm not as worried about that. I also don't think Aaron Ekblad needs to be special.
Right.
I don't really
Especially with the way Seth Jones has been playing, right?
Exactly, right? And I think you start to see some other guys can get some minutes. I think Schmidt has kind of been a little bit of a late season revelation for us. When you take a look at the minutes he's been playing, he's played upwards of 20 minutes, and he's been really good for the last 2 months, but in particular since Ekblad went down.
Yeah, and specifically for Nations, I've heard good news and bad news about Kachuk, which is true. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm not believing anything until I hear it from the mouth of Paul Maurice.
Yeah.
This team, ever since Bill Zito has come into power, has been extremely tight-lipped about stuff like this. Trade rumors, anything else like that. It's just been Zito runs a tight ship. So I'm not. You can go on because here's the thing. Because the way I feel is people are going to be like, "Oh, the bad news is just bullshit," and they're going to believe the good news. Like that's just how I feel.
No, I don't
our
think.
Fan base.
I think again, it's up in the air. If you want my personal opinion, I think it's up in the air for game one now. Again, we'll see, right? Like,
get back to that Ekblad comment by Nick. I want Caesar and Cody to remember Nick saying this as of now.
You can't tell me he doesn't have
to be and Nick are at different.
What Ekblad doesn't have to be special?
I don't think he has to be special. I don't think he really has.
No, that you're not worried about him at all.
And I've been saying
I don't believe that when you're sitting there at the game in Tampa. And
he's not going to be as bad as he was in game one Boston for the whole series.
Nick, timing is a big thing, especially with defensemen. Like, you can't replicate that outside the game, whether his body's healthy or not. You can't replicate game speed and guys up on you on the forecheck and guys flying up.
He came into the playoffs
middle of a series
cold last year. He's
done that in the past against Washington, and he wasn't that great.
And he did it last year, too, and we won the cup.
Okay, but I'm judging him individually, Nick. I'm not judging how the team does. I'm judging him individually on this.
And how was he?
How the team does. I'm judging.
And how did he do when he came back in cold last year? Round one.
Started out great, had that rough game versus Boston.
I don't think he started out great. I thought it was all right.
And
he wasn't our most consistent defenseman last year. I wouldn't grade him good.
And he doesn't need to be. We don't need him to be anything special.
I don't know.
I don't think he needs to be either. And I'm kind of with Nick on that.
Well, that's where people start to get on Jones.
Last year, most consistent was in the playoffs was Forsling. That was our most consistent last year. It's either him or Kulikov
up there.
Yeah, it's either him or Kulikov. But I think the way Forsling kind of showed up in big moments in each series.
I think Kulikov was better in the final.
That's fine, but I think but what Forsling did in that Ranger series kind of topped what anything Kulikov did.
You say the Ranger, I'll say the Tampa one, but yeah.
But the Rangers he was playing good defensively and he scored big goals.
All I remember is the analytics community from the PDO cast made a whole highlight reel of Forsling on Kucherov.
Yeah, but
right.
But in terms of that, it's just I've never seen people lose confidence in a guy like Carter Verhaeghe has in a year.
That's where like some people say I might be hard on Ekblad right now, but Cody, what about the fans that are like on Carter Verhaeghe right now? This is an outlier, and you're going to go against what Carter Verhaeghe is going to bring to playoffs.
His shooting percentage is in half, and people are just gonna. And you guys are like, oh, why did we pay him the $7 million? It should have went to Bennett. No, it shouldn't have.
Oh.
Wait till the big
And
moments happen.
I
Then
think
see.
they put in
Sure,
the
but
draft.
you can't. He was taking dumb penalties in the offensive zone, stick infractions. That's a part you can't ignore.
Okay,
Again,
but-
he's a winger. I don't depend on him, Nick, to be like my number one right-handed defenseman that I want to be a rock and consistent. He's a winger. And if he comes up in big moments, Cody, that's all I think you and I care about, Cody.
That's all. Yeah, exactly.
like,
And the thing is, too,
You're not
I
building
think
the
they were
team.
saying this on the graphic, too. This is his 4th consecutive season with 50-plus points. So, I mean, he's you got to
And
give
he's
him.
one of only a few Panthers to do that, I
Yep,
believe.
Reinhardt's the second one on that list.
Was it Jokinen?
Jokinen? Yep.
Barkov and Huberto as well.
Yeah.
So everyone getting on him this year, he's still statistically, putting up
like,
something.
it's not what he has, because he had back-to-back 70-point years. I'm sorry, I'm gonna lean on more of that to be what he's gonna be instead of the one off year that he's had.
Mhm.
Because goal scorers like this have off years. I mean, shit.
It happened.
It happens. Like his shooting percentage is like what, 16%? If this year it's fucking 8.
Yeah.
And he's
buzzing here like this past game here against Buffalo.
and then,
all around the puck and stuff. You do that in the playoffs and you're all around the play. I don't think he's going to get squeezed out of games and series and things like that. Cody, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I think he'll be around the puck. And, if the puck starts going in the net, that's going to be quick, I think he really has to get back to like a shooting mentality on the stick, off the stick. And in playoffs, he knows better than anyone. The ice shrinks. So just get rid of the puck. Don't think about it. Almost like program your mind. It's a new season.
And one thing, and Kirby as a coach can attest to this, you can't teach clutch. You can't do it.
Yep. I'm still going to put my athletes out there that are clutch.
You can't do it.
Even if I don't believe in it, Cody, I'll ask my assistant coach and they'll say, put that player out there because I know they can
100%
make this shot, make this play in this moment.
Yeah. And so, it's like, I've seen people like say, like, I think I saw one person on Twitter say, what is Verhaeghe did to earn his contract that Bennett hasn't done? And I'm like,
he scored game-winning goals in the playoffs.
He got 30 goals though, for one.
He scored 40.
Yeah, I know. Bennett hasn't even scored 30.
Bennett's not scoring any year.
Like, if Bennett's scoring 40, then Grant Fuhr is in net. Like,
it's a different era.
Yeah, like, it's just with Verhaeghe, it's just like I have confidence in the guy. Like, yeah, he's had a rough year, but looks like Nick is dealing with some people in his room. That's why he has that horrible ass background right now.
It's a beautiful background.
People in there are gonna take Nick out.
Here I am.
I don't know. Joe, choke him out right on live. Love to see it. But
yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I'm with Cody on that.
I just can't believe the fall off here. Guy has one bad year, and we're just like acting like.
Well, I said he needs to be scratched. Comes back, plays his best game of the year. So that's a dub for me. And don't give me the bullshit that he scored an empty net goal. Don't give me that.
I don't care. He needed to see the puck go in the fucking net.
Great. And then he got scratched, which is what I've been calling for. And then he came back with his best game of the year, and it got him going. So you know what? I'm going to take advantage on this.
Verhaeghe goal today, he had confidence to hold out the shot instead of whipping it once it touched his stick. Also, UPL on that goal spun out like he was hit with a green shell.
Turtle.
But
love you, boy.
But thing is just with Verhaeghe, it's like I said, I know he's had a rough year, but I haven't lost confidence in the guy.
No,
but what we got next?
Going into still kind of talking into the topic. Barkov returns after getting the night off the other day, and what a difference he makes on the ice. Like, just his puck awareness, his defense. The guy is an animal, and this goes to show how important he is in our team and on our lineup, and why he is the captain.
Why do we got to keep discussing this? Why? Why? It should be a fucking no. Like it should be like no issue. Like no.
Unfortunately, there's still people out there that still don't.
Okay,
don't
those people
see
are
this.
fucking idiots at this point. We won a damn cup.
And
like
he's still considered underrated.
No, he's not. He's properly rated. But by the way, 2-0 Vancouver.
And I just want to say that zone time having Barkov out there looks, just makes everything look so clean.
The power play looks like fucking pee-wees out there without Barkov.
Yeah, you're not getting that zone time.
My gosh. It's so bad.
Because we're letting Sam Bennett be the fucking trigger man.
Oh, tonight it was Rodriguez trying to get through the fucking neutral zone.
It was atrocious today.
Oh my
Look,
gosh.
Barkov's a walking zone entry.
Yeah, fans don't realize that are critical of him, how important that is to a team in a game.
Zone entries.
I'm gonna be honest.
The puck's on his stick, it's not coming off.
If you're still critical of him at this point in the career, with the 2 Selkies, the Stanley Cup, I think you're a fucking idiot. To be honest with you, I'll say it straight to your face. I really don't care. I don't like. Now you say we're never gonna win a cup with him. Boom. He has a big ass picture right now with him holding.
Yeah, people can't take that
Fame.
that thought that he couldn't do that. And whether it's within our fan base or fans that don't really appreciate his greatness, it's just it's a bad look across the board.
He is by far the best Panther to ever put on the jersey. I know people are like, "Oh, what about Bure? Bure ain't doing shit what Barkov does."
I'm wearing his jersey, but that is like apples and oranges at this point in the short span that he played for us. Luongo, Van Beesbrook, Huberdeau. If you're a Matthew Tkachuk fan now, like Matthew Tkachuk, Barkov.
It's like
10 years.
It's just I don't know why we have to keep saying it. I think it should be an affirmality right now. I think it should just be.
Yeah, I get those comments in my DMs. He didn't have a shot on goal this game or that. Is that all you're
I get updates from around the league on who has more goals than him.
Yeah, so it's just...
Ryan Donato has 31 goals and Barkov has.
Okay, what?
It's like, I responded, Barkov is making the playoffs. Ryan Donato is not. So,
and it's also
he's also winning cups. So
if Ryan Donato fucking played against Barkov, he would have no goals, no assists with a -2 next to his fucking name. I want to hear it.
These are the things we're worrying about running a community. Alexander Barkov's greatness and efficiency.
Right.
Is what it is.
So, ending on that real quick. Home ice advantage. There's still a chance that Florida could get the first game at home. They are currently tied with Tampa, but Tampa owns a tiebreaker on
regulation wins.
Regulation wins, right? So this is a critical next 3 games for Tampa. Florida has 2 games. They got New York and Tampa Bay. So
same schedule that the last 3 games.
So if Tampa loses tomorrow,
or even if they get 1 point tomorrow,
even if they get 1 point, that game Tuesday in Tampa would essentially decide who gets home ice advantage. So it's up to you. I mean, I would prefer the game to be meaningless in terms of rest and everything, but it depends on how much you value home ice,
right?
Which I typically don't as much as some other fans.
Why'd they move the Tampa Florida game to ESPN? When did this happen?
Maybe because there's got more implications on it now. So
yeah. So again, and Tampa plays New York the next day. So I mean, but it would probably already be decided. Number 1 in the Atlantic is probably not. It's not available to the Panthers anymore. It's because the Panthers can only finish with 102.
Tampa and Toronto now. So if Tampa loses tomorrow, I believe Toronto owns the tiebreaker.
If Tampa loses tomorrow, it wouldn't be official, but it would be all but locked up. If Tampa loses 2 of the 3, Toronto wins the division, or if Toronto wins 1 more.
There you have it. So I guess we're all in agreement that you don't think it really matters for round 1, especially both teams playing in Florida, not a long distance travel. You know,
There is
I think-
one thing that could decide that, and it's a couple things. Number one, do you want Matthew Tkachuk, if he's not ready for game one, that recovery, do you want to have eyes on him on the road to start or at home? And then the Ekblad thing, do you want him to come in game 3 at home or on the road? Up to whatever. Again, I think we can win a game in Tampa without Ekblad. We know we're a good team. Again, to me, it doesn't matter that much home ice. And it's your boy. If Toronto and Tampa lose out, I still don't. And we win out, yeah, because we don't have the tiebreaker for.
we don't have the regulation wins.
Do you guys think a little bit more pressure on Florida to win game 1 if it would be on the road?
Yeah. I think it's pressure on Florida to win game 1 if it was on home or the road anyway. Because you're down, guys. Like, you're down Ekblad still.
Okay, so you'd feel the same at home. I feel that a bit on the road. You got to try to grab game 1, I think, with Ekblad out and whatever the situation may be with Tkachuk.
Yeah, but
Either
also,
way, you got to get a game on the road.
yeah,
You do, but I think game 1's got to look right. Just say they lose a competitive game. I'm fine with that. We kind of get our doors blown off. I'm a little bit like, I don't know if I'm just looking at that as a one-off. I'm like, okay, is this kind of issues heading towards game 2 here? You know, I have confidence in Paul Maurice to make adjustments and things. I'm just talking about the team and having a short.
Which, if we could come out and win game 1, that's huge. That sets the tone for the series, and it guarantees you're going to have a tied series when Aaron Ekblad gets back.
And if you're playing well system-wise and things like that, then there's nothing.
Which, again, Tampa hasn't been playing their best hockey, but we know how you play down the stretch doesn't really matter.
Now, if we're undisciplined, I don't think we repeat that style of game in game 2. I think we clean things up, but some fans aren't going to like that if they're like 3 for 5 on the power play Tampa and they're rolling there and they've got momentum going. But I'm just talking like 5-on-5. We're not looking good. It's like there's another game without Ekblad. There's more questions with, Tkachuk and different things like that. So I think game 1's kind of important to come out and see individual success. And as well, if you come up short as a team, that's fine. But you need to start seeing some things out there.
Right. And I think, again, that game 1 is massive. It's going to be nerves right off the bat. So
yeah, a little bit more than last year.
We got a week till that, boys.
No, let's just wait. Let's just enjoy the week.
But next up on the docket, let's talk about.
I kind of want to still talk about the playoff because I know we've been talking a lot of Florida Panthers. We got Montreal had a chance to clinch it tonight or yesterday or tonight, right? Tonight, right? They ended up losing.
It's over. It's still not going to change anything.
So, but let's go to the Western Conference where there's a little bit of a tighter battle now. Calgary has a much bigger chance of possibly making it since Minnesota lost today.
They haven't lost yet. They're currently losing.
Oh, they're losing? Okay.
They're currently losing. And St. Louis is also playing as well. They're down 1-0 as well. So.
And Calgary has still 3 games to play. And after Minnesota and St. Louis, they only have 1 game left.
Yeah. Calgary.
Calgary's not playing.
Not tonight, but they play tomorrow. They play at
San Jose.
And they have that tough game at LA. Like, LA has barely lost any games on home.
Well, yeah, but LA, are they going to be resting?
I think LA be resting at that point because they're locked in their spot already.
That would be a nice concession to the Flames if they're.
But then they would have to play Vegas as well. Calgary, they have to play.
Played them not too bad this year, even if they've lost once or twice. They've played them pretty tight and close.
So now Minnesota, they were top.
But what does Vegas have to play for, Nick? They're number 2.
Oh yeah, they're winning right now, so that would put them at 107. That would essentially put the division.
It would clinch the division for them. It'd clinch it.
Oh, it would officially.
Yeah, it would.
Players in Vegas would as well.
Yes, it would. You're right, Cody. And they have the tiebreak. So if Vegas wins tonight, they clinch the division, and then you'd assume that it's probably just resting against, especially a team like Calgary and stuff.
And the other game Calgary has, if I'm not mistaken, is like what Cody said, San Jose. So you get 2 teams maybe resting players that are playoff teams, and then you're playing San Jose. Which you have
that could end up.
So you can run the table, but you need some help.
Well, if Minnesota loses tonight, they control their own destiny.
Calgary does.
Yeah. If one of St. Louis or Minnesota loses, Calgary controls their own destiny.
Wow. So and St. Louis has lost 2 of their last games, right? After that big winning streak.
That's what's going to happen after a fucking winning streak like that. You're going to lose a couple.
They're down 1-0 to Seattle at the end of the second.
Is
So third coming up there.
Is Winnipeg
wild
the President's
right
Trophy
now.
win already? Not yet. They're going to be, though. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Connor Hellebuck for Hart if that happens.
You've been saying it all year.
But next up on the docket, let's talk about some fucking futility, shall we?
Let's do it.
Are you going to bring this into all sports here?
Not really. So the Buffalo Sabres were eliminated a couple weeks ago in the playoffs, and they have their playoff drought has hit 14 seasons now without a playoff berth, which I believe is 2010-11 season, which is the last time I believe it's either 2011-10 or 2009 and 10.
2009, 2010.
And Lindy Ruff was there?
Yeah, Lindy Ruff was the coach. And, Ryan Miller was still their goalie. And
was that Daniel Briere, Drury, or they were gone?
Yeah, and I do believe they're on the same pace as I think the Jets. The New York Jets are still the same. Any chance Jack Devine doesn't sign? He already signed today. So Buffalo.
I got a futility tweet there from Caesar as well that shows the New York Jets. And what is Buffalo doing right now, winning all these games and playing a pretty competitive game against Florida?
And then they're holding the puck. Well, at least we get a point. They're like, no. Sabres fans put it in your own damn net. Let's go.
Right, another point.
The longest playoff drought here.
The New York Jets suck. Buffalo Sabres, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and
I know a lot of Jet fans.
Hornets.
So that's
and the Washington Commanders were on that list before last.
And now they went to an NFC Championship game.
Give it another decade.
Well, then Buffalo has to feel good about themselves then if that's how.
But as it's funny seeing the Angels on here. Kirby, a Bryce Harper guy, but not a Mike Trout guy for some unknown fucking reason.
Mike Trout futility.
Yeah, but trust me, he was not the reason why they're feudal.
I know there's a lot of Trout sympathizers out there. I know.
No, it's called he has the worst owner, one of the worst owners in sports.
100% agree on that.
Vladimir Guerrero was making the playoffs with Anaheim.
Yeah, but he had Troy Gloss on his team.
Oh, good player. No. They didn't have a great future.
All I'll say is this. Wasn't it not too long ago Devin Levi was going to win Rookie of the Calder Trophy and be a dark horse for the Vezina?
Yeah, they were talking
50 games. The Florida Panthers aren't making it to the playoffs. It's the Buffalo Sabres time. Devin Levi time, baby. And then we win the cup.
And what about some people in our community that thought Buffalo was a little ahead of schedule than they were? And you look at a team like look where Ottawa is right now.
And look at Montreal.
Montreal is right now.
But I'll just say this. They've had talent. And I'm not talking about the Reinhart, Eichel.
They have talent now.
They have talent now. Like last year, that team should have
been already
in the playoffs.
Rasmus Dahlin. They already
yes, they are. Agreed. This team should be a playoff team. Well, on paper, it is a playoff team.
Yeah, but now
they just haven't been able to figure it out.
People have said that for 3-4 years now with Buffalo. Might be a playoff team or fringe playoff team.
With Sabre fans now, it was blaming. This year, it's blaming goaltending. Last year, they had the goaltending problem was they couldn't score.
The year before, it was defense, I think.
Media saying Isaac Howard's going to go back to school, become free agent. Zito getting Jack Devine to sign an ELC so close. For those who don't know, Isaac Howard is the first-round pick in 2022 of the Tampa Bay Lightning, currently playing at Michigan State. And he said a quote where he said, and I quote, like, me and Tampa don't see eye to eye. So
interesting.
That is something there, but
but Buffalo's looking for a goalie again.
Probably.
I like UPL. I think he's been left out to dry this year by a shitty Buffalo team.
And here's the worst thing: they have talent on that back end too.
I was just gonna say that. I don't want Buffalo fans to get at me if you find this clip or whatever where we're gonna timestamp it, but. Would you consider at some point next year, whether it be at the trade deadline, next offseason, this still isn't working here. Do we trade Rasmus Dahlin and bring back 4 or 5 pieces? Because that can help change up the whole makeup of your team. Because if you're not winning with Rasmus Dahlin by the end of next year, what are you doing here?
Yeah, it's just – well, Buffalo is just – I don't know.
Well, I don't know if a coach solves the problems, Cody. Change the coach or you change the GM. Well, the GM's going to make decisions that I don't want these core players anymore. I want to make this team in the mold of how I want it to be.
Yeah, it's just with Buffalo, it's just I don't know where you go because I don't think
it's not an easy answer.
Like
you might have to make that tough decision of trading up your core.
Vince says Buffalo is a shit show. Next question.
Dude, I thought you'd add some stuff here.
I mean, but it's, like, topics like it's just like Buffalo. Like I feel like they've drafted well.
They don't need any more talent. They don't need any more pieces here or there. They need goalie, whatever. They got good goaltending last year, and they didn't do it.
GM thing, Nick. It's more than that. Like Cody, you can't put your finger on it.
Like it's kind of maybe like Ottawa. They just
you guys blamed Ottawa, the head coach, a lot.
Well, take a look.
When they change head coaches to make the playoffs. So what's your point?
I don't see the same with Buffalo. I saw you guys.
Do you think? Do you think the problem with Ottawa last year and the last couple of years that they solved this year is the same that Buffalo has?
Well, I knew Ottawa's problem, and I diagnosed it. I was high on Ottawa. Their problem was their forwards didn't want to play a 200-foot game, and now they are. So is Buffalo, is that their problem, Cody? I think a little bit, but I think there might be more than that. And what is the issues?
It could be player mentality to me. It could
then
be.
You have the wrong mix at the top. You know?
And not just Buffalo is eliminated from the playoffs. There is no New York team that will be in the playoffs this year.
No, this team intrigues me what they're going to do.
You don't count the
because
whatever you guys.
I have a feeling what's going to happen. Laviolette's probably going to be the scapegoat here,
right.
And I'm going to say it right now. This was not his fault.
No,
not one bit.
Some people are debating on that.
What do you want him to? The problem is between
you can't. It's the players.
It's the players and the GM.
Yeah. So it's not the coach not motivating the.
Well, I'm just going to say this. I was very hard on Chris Drury for what he did with Barclay Goodrow last year. I'm saying, listen, I know it's a business, but if you think players are going to want to sign with you, it's like I signed them to that awful fucking deal, and to bypass it, I'm going to put you on waivers so you can't say no. He's like, I don't give a fuck. And then you do the same thing to Jacob Trouba, essentially, in the offseason. And you wonder why, for example, players play the way they do, or might not want to play for them. That's a problem. Who the hell would want to go play for the New York Rangers? And they just go ahead and they give this long-term deal to Alexis Lafreniere, who I like, but he has been terrible this season. You move Philip Hedl, you move Capo Caco. You can't develop shit, number one, from Elias Anderson to Capo Caco to freaking Alexis Lafreniere, a first overall pick, and we're talking about a 55, 60-point guy in year, 5?
Wow.
And
it's an absolute joke. And then Mika Zibanejad and Chris Kreider are absolute no-shows this year. And then people want to bitch about Adam Fox. The problem isn't anything. They need to fix their development problem, number one, because if they don't, they're going to fuck up Gabe Perreault. And they need a culture change. They need to identify what are they? Who are they? What are the New York Rangers?
Great point.
And the thing with, just go ahead and play this video, and then we'll say it.
No, I want to. Go ahead, Cody, and then because I got something to say to Caesar on this video because I think I know what it is. I haven't played it.
So real quick, where's Jimmy D? He's been MIA. I haven't seen him around here.
Look, the problem with the Rangers is it's just like Drury, and I think Bill Zito does a great job of this. So I don't think we're ever gonna have this problem. He hasn't taken care of any of the players.
Yep.
Because
and I think PK Subban says that here.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and play the clip.
Obviously, everybody's going to talk about coaches and GMs and what they should be doing next. Well, let's go back, right? They won the President's Trophy. They go to the conference final. There's no GM on this planet that was trading any of those core group guys after a season like that. So, you can foreshadow and say they should have tweaked the lineup going into the season. It's difficult to do that when you have guys who have career years. Kreider had 75 points, 77 points last year, 36 goals. He's down 50 points this year. Everybody's down. So when I look at this team, I think it's got to be a retweak. because of Shesterkin, you got the best goaltender in the world. They got some good pieces in there. It's about figuring it out. But on the energy, the attitude, the culture piece, that's got to all get figured out. And I think that some of it's on management in the organization. Some of it's got to be on the locker room with some of the guys in that room. They've been there for a long time. Like, I'm watching this game tonight. Your season's on the line. Where's the energy?
Right.
I want to see someone run someone through the glass. It's not about stats and numbers for me. It's about, to a man, why are you there? What are you playing for? You're playing for the New York Rangers, original 6 franchise. It's got to show with the energy. And a coach and GM cannot go out there and do it for you. You got to go out and do it. Obviously, everybody's going to.
So, great point by PK there. And I kind of want to bring this up because I believe it was a game this week where they ended up starting Jonathan Quick instead of Shesterkin. You're in a playoff mode now. You must win. How do you not start your best?
Because it was a back-to-back.
I don't care.
It was a back-to-back.
I don't care.
When you have Igor Shesterkin, the best goalie in the league,
it's your
and
must win. It's a must win. You're trying to get into the playoffs.
Bob and they weren't starting one.
And I'm just going to say this: the amount of money Igor Shesterkin's making, he better be in net.
He better be in
net.
It's called they packed it in.
Okay. They better be in net.
But if you doesn't go to the management or coach and say, I'm starting today.
I'm just going to say this. If I know we started Alex Lyon, right? But, for example, let's say we were hot down the stretch here and we needed points to get in. Back-to-back. Are we starting Vitek
But Bob was
Vanecek?
injured and stuff like that. Igor's not.
Exactly. So he needs to be in. And I agree with what PK Subban said. That was a pathetic effort today.
Horrible.
I thought Caesar was going to play the PK video on New Jersey, so I'll hold my
No.
Because you want to put your eggs in the PK Subban basket, Caesar. You better be making a community bet on New Jersey winning.
But the thing is with
I said that's my dark horse. That's it.
Oh, you're talking them up like they're going to win.
Like the thing is with the Rangers is I think Subban hit it on the head. I think some of it's on the players. I think some of it's on management.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, that's going to be the scapegoat. I don't think any of this is his fault. How
many coaches do they need?
Right?
How many coaches is before it was Gerard Gallant's problem. Now it's Peter Laviolette's problem. What's the common denominator?
Put Kirby in there.
Panarin.
Who?
Panarin.
Well, that too, right?
But Panarin's the one who showed up this year for the Rangers.
Top 15 player in the NHL, Cody.
But Panarin's the one who showed up this year for the Rangers.
He didn't show up last year in the conference final.
But I mean, yeah, but they lost.
What do you expect from Kreider at this point? You should have traded him or Mika. But like what PK said, you went on a conference final.
Like you're not going to do that. Like after a conference finals berth, it'd just be stupid. Like, and especially
you got a better return than you did on the JT Miller deal. I would have traded Mika in the summer though.
Yeah. But you're not trading Mika after a year like that.
JT Miller deal, like those moves, like I didn't get them. I did not understand.
Well,
them.
I don't understand it from Vancouver's perspective. Again,
I mean,
hurt again, isn't he?
I don't even know.
He's always hurt.
I think it's just
he's always hurt.
I think it's just the shit show again. Like where are the Rangers going? I don't know. Is it a retool? Is it because I just don't think like I've never been a huge
GM where he's scared to move on from guys that have placeholder position within the organization. Bill Zito, other GMs, not so much. Vegas,
the teams that have won,
they don't operate that way.
Tampa, look where they're at right now. They got rid of Stamkos.
The Rangers don't operate that same way.
Vegas with Fleury and with Marchessault. Florida with Huberdeau.
Marchessault, Conn Smythe winner. See ya.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like you can't be afraid to make moves.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I mean, Cody. I get what you're saying, Cody, or I get what PK was saying, but I would have investigated because those netters talked about that they were going to move one of Kreider or Mika from what they heard.
Yeah, but two of the guys you mentioned were free agents. They didn't even trade. The only one you said that was traded was Huberdeau.
Yes, but they let them walk.
Yeah, they let them walk, but they signed Zibanejad after like a career year, like 2-3 years ago.
Well, I understand that at that point.
But there's been a lot of questions about his softness in the playoffs, not just this year.
Yeah, but let's see. It's just with Zibanejad, like who's taking that contract? Like you're not getting assets back for him. You're gonna have to give assets up to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Contract swap. But I don't know if you're gonna be able to find a better.
They tried it. Vancouver laughed in their fucking face.
If it was this summer, not last summer, you kind of knock on Petey's door.
Yeah. Like maybe they go down that. I know.
I mean, I don't know. Here's the thing:
route.
it's like, would it make sense with Boston? Because I'd rather fucking just stick with Mika Zibanejad than go with Elias Lindholm.
Could you talk to Dallas and ask them about Jason Robertson last summer, Cody?
No, I don't think Dallas would even entertain that either.
So you're looking at a PLD level player or something.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, but is there a Darcy Kemper level regret from this year? I don't think there is.
And it's worked out for both teams, by the way.
Like
a lot of teams would have not touched PLD. I went to a G as a last
Like,
summer.
So what do you guys
I don't
think
know
needs to happen in New York for them to change it, to turn it around?
Well, they need the number one, like I said.
If
they need Adam Fox to be.
If they're, I mean,
Yeah,
Adam Fox.
Adam Fox is a big one.
But the one thing, if they were to do something like fire Laviolette or fire Drury, I think if you want to go that route, you fire Drury.
Oh, anything can happen with their owner, James Dolan.
Well, I'm going to say this. Chris Drury had a shit deadline last year. When he was in on Buchnevich, he struck out on him. He got Alex Wenberg and Jack Roslovic, while other teams were getting Jake Gensel and freaking Vladimir Tarasenko, and all of these other teams were getting. He got Jack Roslovic.
Would you have traded for PLD or Line this last offseason? I would never trade for PLD at any point in my life.
If I lose out, I'm not.
Now I know Kirby's a big Patrick.
I would think about Line A. I would think about it.
He's done okay this year.
I would think Line A more than PLD if you made me.
Because here's the thing. At least with Line A, when healthy, I got power play threat on all time on ice.
But wasn't last
the
year
most automatic thing you've had since Mike Hoffman?
But you end up have to bench him 5-on-5 if he's not giving.
Yeah, but that's why you put him like third line or whatever.
Yeah, he could lose him there though. He could be effective or you lose him.
Yeah, but with Line A, it's just like he could be better than what Hoffman was in the power play, just because.
Yeah,
that shot is just way more powerful, man, and
more consistent. But Hoffman at high level, was dangerous.
Just to kind of like end it real quick. One more thing here on the topic. Who do you guys think is more disappointing of not making the playoffs? Boston or New York right now?
New York.
Boston.
New York. You kidding me? You were at a conference final last year, and you have all the expectations in the world. And I get Boston. But listen,
Boston.
I'll explain Boston why. I'll explain why for Boston.
I get the money and everything, but if you would have told me at the beginning of the season who's more likely to miss the playoffs, I said I don't think either of them do. I think both of them are top 2-3 teams in their division.
That's the right answer.
But I would have
picked Boston to win the division.
Yes, I thought that they was good because I thought
division the land.
Because I thought we got worse, and I thought Toronto with Berube there were going to be some growing pains.
Yeah, and the reason why I say Boston is because you actually invested money into this team. You went out and got Elias Lindholm for $8 million per for a season he had 2-3 years ago. You went out and invested in Nikita Zadorov, who had 2 fucking fluky goals in the playoffs because the goalie's fucking 5'2".
By the way, I was looking at Nikita Zadorov. He's plus 20.
By the way, 2-1 Minnesota. 2-1 Minnesota just scored.
Cody, who do you hate more, Mason Marchment or Nikita Zadorov? Eric Goodbrand.
I can't say my most hated.
I
can't say my most hated player yet.
Nick Paul for me.
I feel like I just racked off.
I saw that Nikita Zadorov is plus 21 on that Bruins team, Kirby. Whoa. Plus 21.
We like those plus minus stats.
Gosh,
but it fits your narrative, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Plus minus is such a fucking useless.
It's so
fucking useless.
So BS.
We love that. That's called Nick's Nuggets.
Like,
how many times do we see it on?
There we go. Yeah.
People always throwing it out there too.
Because you want to know why, and I'm just explaining this now. You want to know why plus minus is such a fucking useless stat? Because plus minus doesn't tell you who's at fault for the goal.
Right.
It tell you who's responsible for the fucking goal.
You could literally be on the verge of changing.
I could be on a change and I get a fucking minus.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. It's
if you get a minus on a change, it's probably a bad change. But
yeah.
So.
But here's the thing: I get a minus for an empty net goal.
Yeah.
So, like, why Declan Chisholm back on the bench? But it's just with Boston. It's just you spend all that money on Lindholm. You spend all that money on Zadorov.
Swayman.
You paid Swayman that 8x8. Remember, I have 64 million reasons
And then
why
you
I
just
should
see
be
what
playing.
Jim Montgomery does in
And
St.
then
Louis.
just the firing of Jim Montgomery and be just a few.
Like they're really bad. They're worse than Buffalo.
I'm not gonna lie. Montgomery was never going to recover having that 64-win team and blowing that 3-1 lead. He was never going to recover from that in Boston. It was just never going to happen.
Do you just think that he just lost the locker room?
No,
There's a lot of players that did like him.
No, I think management failed.
That was their time. That was
Yeah.
their time. They had to win that year. They knew the cap, and and they were losing Bergeron and Krejci. They loaded up with assets and money and stuff. That was the time.
And you guys know this. I didn't love their supporting cast. Like, I'm not Taylor Hall and Tyler Bertuzzi guy. Like,
But if they're on your set, but if they're your fifth, sixth, seventh option, Kirby, I mean,
okay, but Krejci and Bergeron are knocking on the door of retirement.
Yeah, but you singing out of Tyler Bertuzzi guy. He was the fucking one that he murked us. There were two guys on Boston.
He also gave up a lot.
Taylor Hall too.
Yeah, there were three guys that murked us that series. Pasternak, who had probably the best forgotten goal of that playoffs.
Thank God, I remember that.
When he went in between your legs, top shelf game 6.
Oh, for sure, Pasternak.
Pasta was there. Bertuzzi, as much as he gave up, fucking murked us. I think he led him in points that series. 5 goals, 5 assists. And then fucking and Hall. Like, Hall was killing us that series.
But you don't think it was a bit of a mirage, looking back in hindsight, of those guys and where they are now, and that
I think the Taylor Hall
and even Orlov, you guys are our community members, were critical of him at times of like he's playing over his head. You know, he had some really big games.
The problem with Orlov was his partner was always the one fucking up.
But he had some big games with McAvoy. They had some disaster games against Florida, but they also had some really.
But remember, like Connor Clifton had that fucking awful turnover to Lusto for the game winner in Game 6.
That's real supporting cast guy though.
Like,
you know,
like with Boston, it was just like, and
they had that level goalies that year, which I don't put Allmark on that level. I know I talked with Tuna about that.
But for that year, he was that level.
Yeah, for that year, everything.
And also the thing was, they lived off that power play that series.
Yeah, they did.
Because we couldn't kill a penalty.
My
gosh, I had to walk away at one point during Game 6 because I just knew it was going to happen.
And our power play, till they made adjustments there, was just getting shut down. The Bruins were second, third on the penalty kill that year, I think.
Yeah.
They weren't even that. They didn't even have a top 10 power play, and they just fucking goal.
Their penalty kill was top 3.
Yeah, but it was like, but we didn't have the personnel to have an elite penalty kill that year. No. We just didn't.
That bad? Come on. I think we were 49%. Like,
yeah, we didn't have the personnel
to be that bad. Come on, like I get.
We didn't have the personnel to be that good.
No, but I didn't think we were going to be that bad. I mean, they fucking It's like a bunch of PPs versus like a college.
We're icing.
Nick, after we come off an Andrew Brunette season, you think that wasn't reasonable to not have a great penalty?
That first round was unacceptable.
I don't know what power play penalty was worse.
We couldn't make a play on the
21 versus Tampa or 23 versus Boston.
Because probably 23 versus Boston because Tampa's power play fucked up everybody.
They were the top ones at least.
I'm gonna say Tampa, and here's why: they were fucking toying with us.
Yeah,
they were just having fun out there.
I'll never forget the fake 1-2 by Kucherov. He passes the point of the slot wide over net because Bob.
But he might be the best to do that in NHL history.
But they don't have that. Then they don't have that element anymore. That's like once in like every 5-10 years. Like a team has that for a 2-3 year stretch. No team has that.
I would say that's once in 15-20 years.
And my favorite fucking part is like our fan base is like, why can't we have a power play like that?
Nobody does.
Nobody does.
Nobody does. That you won't see a power play like that for another 10, 15 years, Kirby, you said?
Yeah, and I want to add in the McDavids and Matthews of the world, but what they had collectively
and how they moved the puck around, that's like generational dynasty level. Like you'll look back
because Tampa has Bouchard, Draisaitl, and McDavid, but Tampa had Hedman, Prime, Point, Stamkos, Kucherov. Who am I missing?
Killorn.
And Killorn you put in there. Whoever played the fifth guy.
The fuck. It didn't matter who the fucking fifth guy was. Like,
so when you have 4 plus options.
Like,
Just
here's
the
the
way
thing.
they moved that puck, and they were together for years, and it was just unstoppable. You don't
I can say
have
with Edmonton with Hyman now, though.
Yes. But
But
it's like, again, you don't have power plays like that. It is once in a decade or two that you look back at in hockey history, and it's like, remember that.
Kucherov's the best at doing that. The shot fake pass, maybe in NHL history.
Right. So it's like that Tampa Bay Lightning team. They don't have no teams like that anymore.
Yeah.
No teams.
And the crazy thing about that power play was it was like a fucking pick your poison. You want Hedman to blast one from the point, you can have that. You want Stamkos one time over there, you can have that. Kucherov can rip a one time over here, you can have that. You can have, or you can.
Hedman can blast it from the point, by the way, too.
Yeah. Or here's the best part. You could go guard the one time. Oh yeah, we have fucking Brayden Point in the bumper spot ready for
Which
one.
They kind of revolutionized the bumper spot because that was new.
That was point spot before it became Reinhardt's spot.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. He was one of the first guys that will be known for that, I think.
Yeah.
Like, do you know they have a 34% power play at one point in the regular season?
Some crazy number. It was crazy. Yeah.
But anyway,
settle down. We're giving Tampa too much praise. I know. Yeah. Okay.
I don't give a fuck. That team was good,
and they're not that team anymore. So
and then you got
thank gosh they're not that team.
You
thank
get a
God.
shorthanded chance on the PK, Vasilevsky.
Yeah.
Stop it.
But right now, I think
Lachari or something.
And speaking of this, Gabriel Landeskog scored his first professional goal since 2022 tonight.
But
while we're live, so
before we hop into this, Caesar, I think we got some bills to pay real quick, don't we?
Yeah, sure. You got it, Cody?
So, let's see here, Kirby. You got it on deck right there.
I got it. Hey, Panther fans in South Florida need real estate help? Check out Jeremy Beckham with Next Home Treasure Coast. It's a boutique service with a personal touch. Jeremy and his team put humans over houses, working hard for you, whether you're buying or selling. Ready to move? Hit up BeckSellsFLA.com or call 772-475-5371. You'll be glad you did. And now a word from our other sponsor, Caneswear.
Panthers fever is here. Are you geared up? Caneswear in Davie is the place for all your Florida Panthers needs. They have the latest gear for our favorite NHL team. Jerseys, polos, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. Caneswear has you covered. Stop by their store in Davie or at pantherswear.com. Again, that's pantherswear, WEAR.com for all your Panthers gear.
Though, major injury in the Vancouver, Minnesota game. Derek Forbert, I don't know what the hell happened.
And as you're saying that, Seattle just scored, and it's 2-1 Seattle over St. Louis.
Who scored for St. Louis? Hold up.
I think.
Shout out real quick to Jack here. I know he's a big Boston fan. Talked a little bit about Boston. Got to go back and watch it. But yeah, go ahead, guys.
Whoa. I don't know if he wants us to be saying he's a big Boston fan, but go ahead there, Nick.
Mikey Eyssimont has given the Kraken the lead.
Just throwing him some shade.
Eyssimont. No, Jack is a Panthers fan. He lives in Boston,
it was
a Brad Marsh fan when he was Boston.
Yeah.
To be honest with you on that part, I'll just
But back to what we were saying with Gabriel Landeskog, a guy who has not played a hockey game in nearly 3 years.
Wow. 3 years, and he got an opportunity to play his first AHL game in 3 years. This is him before he steps on the ice. Let me just put the volume up here. All right.
Didn't he get in a fight that game, his first game?
No. He got into a scrum.
Okay.
And the ref was yelling at him to let him go. But for those who don't know, Gabriel Landeskog has been dealing with a knee injury for the longest of time to here. Give me a sec here.
Laceration it was, right? Cody, they did documentary series on it, I believe.
Yeah.
I got it.
So it was a knee injury, and he initially had surgery, but the pain was still very much so there. And he ended up having cartilage transplant in May of 2023, which sidelined him for another year, cultivating into his return this year.
I know from a basketball background, Cody, when that happens, I knew an athlete that was 17 years old, 18 years old, and had to hang it up because of cartilage surgery and just didn't regenerate or whatever. And that is brutal. But you don't usually hear that in hockey, but good on Gabriel Landeskog here. Like, Carton sold their team captain.
Yes.
Nick, that a lot of people
think. And the former, I think, a second overall pick? Or was it third?
Dude, he was second. I remember when he was coming out of the draft that year. That's one guy I really wanted Florida to get.
So you wanted him over Huberdeau and Nuge?
Yes. He was the one guy I'm like...
But this was like a part of their core, right? This is like you take compared to Florida, this is like a Reinhardt level player for us that they've been missing, and just the credit to him of the mental grind that it took to get back to this point, as well as the physical grind. I mean, it's good to see him, and I just Gabriel Landeskog, he was there before McKinnon, before Rantanen. I know he's gone now. He's like you said, Kirby, he's the captain of that team, so it's good to see him back.
It's shut up, Parrish. But the thing is, at the end of the day, with Landeskog, is Colorado getting him back is a huge thing for him here. Like,
real quick, I think he did score a goal here.
Yeah, he scored tonight.
Yeah,
Nick said it earlier. The thing, and with Landeskog, it's almost like Colorado's getting their captain back, which is part of one. And with Colorado last year, I felt they had their legs kind of taken out from under them a bit when Nichushkin was out with that player assistant suspension or whatever it was.
Cody Nichushkin was
back-to-back years too
in the first round of the entire playoffs.
Back-to-back years too, I believe, right?
Yeah.
They got knocked out by Seattle in the first round. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, but that
was Nichushkin not in for that?
No,
there were some off-ice things going on.
Yes, right.
So, the freaking hooker in the hotel room. Something like
I wasn't going to go that far, but hey,
that's what it was.
And off topic, while we were talking about this, St. Louis scored 2 goals in about 10 seconds to take the lead on Seattle here.
That doesn't surprise me. I was going to say that earlier.
What's the score now?
3-2 St. Louis. About 10 minutes to go here.
Okay.
Colton Parayko scoring his return, and then Nick Leddy, Islander legend.
Nick Leddy. I knew a girl that dated him. Rocks for brains, but could skate beautifully. That was her quote.
As a UM alum, Cody, hey, Jay, well, hey, bud, this is my school. I'm not going to not rep my school, good sir.
Cody does go to that school. There's a conflict there.
Shout out to Parrish. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Make sure you hit the like button and comment, and make sure you hit the notification bell so anytime we do come on live, you guys are notified that we're on.
Yeah. Look at Vince over here. Nichushkin pulled a Michael Irving. What did he? what did he stab his teammate over a haircut too?
I remember reading that in the book. I'm like, what the hell?
That happened in professional wrestling. I want to say it was Sid Vicious, Caesar, and also Michael Irvin.
Oh my God, the bad boys!
And as we were talking about that, Seattle just scored, but it doesn't fucking matter.
Seattle scored.
Yeah.
Well, you give Vince a platform. Caesar's
Shane Wright.
Read anything there in the
Kirby's
chat.
guy, Shane
Caesar,
Wright.
kind of filter stuff in there. Filter stuff before you read it.
Yeah.
That is a thing. Yeah. Same Caesar if you're co-hosting on Spaces with me. You don't just give anyone a mic, right, Nick?
This is After Dark.
Caesar was all right tonight, but we didn't have any shady characters in there.
I made sure this time. I made sure to look at the...
This is After Dark, Kirby.
Hey, listen, co-hosting Spaces, especially during playoffs, is not an easy thing to do.
Oh, my gosh.
Initials OF, that's all I'll say. And other things.
Oh, it was?
No, not tonight.
Oh, okay. I was going to say. But no, you get DMs all the time.
Yeah, give me a mic.
Give me a mic.
Caesar, you don't just go, okay. You don't just go, okay.
Oh no, I've
they're
learned.
reviewing it. It looks like Eberle may have kicked it in.
Okay. So maybe not St. Louis with the lead.
Well, no, maybe not tied game.
But this is the week to get in here, the final couple games and our post-game show, because our mics do fill up during the playoffs. And gentlemen, we do have to talk off the air because we are going to be live on YouTube this year for the playoffs, as well as over on the
tuned.
So stay
We're
tuned.
going to have some great, not only Panther playoff content, but NHL playoff.
I think we got to wait for you and Caesar to come back from the rink some nights, right, Nick? So
yes, we're working on a plan.
And we got to come here.
But right now, we have a plan in place for me and Kirby to go live pre-game, so for some important games, because since me and Kirby are two of the most even-keeled Panther fans out there, not the guy in the bottom left, not at all him.
I've been even-keeled this year.
Live post-game though, Cody.
The playoffs haven't fucking started yet.
We got to go live post-game here because we need Nick's reaction.
If we had 20,000 Cody and Kirby's in the arena, it'd be a fucking library.
How about this? If there was 20,000 of us, they'd be at fucking home watching the game. We wouldn't go to the game.
Then we'd have no fans, and we would have had that problem before.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
You want to suck ref chance and shoot?
Do you want us to be quiet? Because last time we were quiet, we had Sportsnet bitching at us that we're not a freaking pumped up playoff crowd.
But I don't want you guys to be quiet either when it's a 1-1 hockey game and it's a good played hockey game. You got to get up and get the team going.
I am. I'm not the whole crowd, though.
I want to hear you on my TV from home.
Well, I'm trying, man.
It's also the fact.
Chris Chelios line?
It's also
come on, Chelios, you old fuck.
It's just like I said, I just love the ref you suck chance. You're just sitting at home, you're just like, oh, that was a pretty good call there. I don't know.
Yeah, right. I'm like, they don't get a view on the.
They don't get the replay, so I'm just like.
We've been saying that. I think we said that in Spaces today, where like they again today with that Greer hit, they didn't show the replay at the game.
Every loss was a 5-game skid for Nick. That 4-game skid almost made him jump off the roof.
I was the even-keeled one. Was I not the most positive motherfucker during that skid?
We let the community speak, Nick.
Like, listen, here.
I was the most positive motherfucker in there. I was told I was coping.
Hey, listen, you know what's funny? I have like all of our co-hosts like in a jar with this. Like,
Vince, I don't want you to talk about
like the most reactionary people to games is Lex for one. Lex is very reactionary. Nick when it comes to playoffs.
Yep.
Not when it comes to playoffs. I get emotional, not reactionary.
I think Nick gets very emotional after every loss, except the last week. Most of them.
No, I don't. I get fired up a bit, but that's just who I am.
Yeah, it's just.
But like they let the goal happen for Seattle. But look, I don't overreact at regular season losses, and I don't overreact to playoff losses. You actually go back and listen.
Times you did this year.
Did I say we were going to lose the series?
We haven't played a series yet.
Okay. I said that I'm pissed off about the loss, and I get angry, and I get up, and I get fired up. But I don't let it dictate my takes for the series or the long-term run. And Kirby, you need to back me up here because you know that's true.
Yeah, you're doing good, but I'm wondering if you're just trying to do that to play up that character.
What do you mean play up? Apparently it's not working.
Vanacek?
Well, I don't like Vanacek. I'll stand by that. But
no, I'm not gonna get on Nick just for little things here or there, Caesar. That's
right.
awesome.
No, I'm just
right. But the overalls, I think he's been pretty calm. But we won a Stanley Cup, Nick.
And what did I tell you before Game 7?
You did talk to me. Everyone was panicking in the community. That's another thing. Shout out Vince in the chat. Can we stop doing the night chance now? It's been a month.
Oh, it's been a lot less.
Come on, before we get to that, Kirby, what did I say before Game 7?
For not just for me to relax, but everyone can relax and we're going to win. And you're confident in this team and everything. But that was a tough time. That's tough.
Yeah. And you know who brought it through? This guy right here.
But you have been upset this year, the regular season winning.
I've been upset about how we played.
Okay.
Never forget.
But overall, I give you
never forget versus Columbus 2 years ago.
Glad we cleared that up.
I was fired up for that one too, Cody.
But tough news for the Oilers here. They are potentially losing Matthias Ekholm for an extended period of time, which is most likely a season-ending injury here. I will say this: the Edmonton Oilers will not win a Stanley Cup without Matthias Ekholm. Let's just get that started.
Tough break.
Hell, they might not even win a round.
LA.
That's my dark horse pick.
Then pick them to win in the first round.
Well, you said what's the dark horse? Are you picking Ottawa to beat Toronto?
I'm
Officially?
likely leaning that way.
Well, okay, so I'm likely leaning that way. I'll pull that bullshit with you now.
All right. I'm
It's
just
not bullshit.
hey, my UFC parlay is looking pretty good right now. Yes, sir. Shout out Patty the Batty Pimblett with the dub tonight.
Okay.
But it's just not a very hot take. Cody Ekholm helps that defense. Vince, he is that defense. Let's just be honest here. He is the defense because I don't think like Evan Bouchard isn't really gonna,
Well, who's going to step up? Jake Wallman, Darnell Nurse.
Well, Nurse is probably gonna have to get the fucking Seth Jones treatment and play 27 minutes a night now.
So it's going to be Bouchard Nurse.
It's going to be playing 30-40.
Oh man!
Overtime games
Bouchard
against-
Nurse. That's going to drive the oil land crazy.
Look, Ty Emberson's gonna get a lot of time this
Cody,
Evan
I don't think
Bouchard-
that's good for Darnell Nurse when you're playing LA, right? Because they're going to make you pay for mistakes in close, tightly contested games.
Do you think they're just going to put him in at some point to just say, "Can you just play through it"? We don't know. We've seen that in playoffs where they've been ruled out and they make a miraculous comeback. But
so are their pairs gonna be
Bouchard Nurse,
Bouchard Nurse, Stetcher Kulak, Emberson Klingberg?
No, Wallman's.
Wallman. I forgot about Wallman.
No, Emberson would be in the top 4, Cody. I don't think Sketcher.
No, freaking it would be Wallman Kulak.
Oh, yeah, Wallman.
And then you have Emberson.
Emberson's pretty good for a bottom pick.
He's not bad.
And I forgot they had John Klingberg.
But yikes, they might want to keep. It's not like Bouchard's a defensive stalwart, so they might as well keep him on the power play.
None of those guys are that you pretty much said, except Sketcher, and I don't know what he's.
Well, no, Wallman's pretty. Actually, no, he's more of a.
Wallman's more offensive.
He's more of a puck moving guy. So Kulak really is the only one.
Yeah, Kulak.
And oh man, they could be in trouble. Yikes.
Like you're telling me I get to go against Brett Kulak instead of fucking Matthias Ekholm?
Boy.
Yeah, and then you're not playing both of them. You're just playing one of them. And it's Kulak. Kulak played really well in the playoffs last year, but he's got to be able to replicate that this year. So that's a big question.
He may need to put it up another level now with fucking with Ekholm gone.
You don't got Cody Ceci giving up pizzas anymore.
But hey, he was the one that created that one fucking goal for them in the game 7. He may give up pizzas, but that fucking pass was great.
Cody's not counting only pizzas for our team or certain guys.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck if another team throws a pizza. I want them to throw pizzas. I don't want us to throw pizzas.
That's why I like to play New Jersey.
Real quick, Alexander Ovechkin. I know this was the day after dark last week.
Last Sunday.
Scored his 895th goal on Sunday. Where were you guys? Were you guys even watching the game?
No, I was at Best Buy getting my phone battery replaced, so I didn't even have my phone.
There's an L. Nick won't like this, but I was watching the game 2 minutes behind. Let
me guess. You paused it when you left the room.
I wanted to get something to eat.
My gosh!
I might have had a phone call.
Oh gosh!
Kirby.
All right, I still saw
Kirby.
it.
Elderly people do that.
Kirby, do
they have the button on the Fire Stick?
Okay, but do you turn off your notifications on your phone when the game is on, man?
Yeah, usually if it's not the Panthers, but even if it's, I'll put it aside because everyone's just messaging me during the game. So if I'm a couple minutes behind,
well, I turn off.
I used to watch the game on record, PVR, whatever you call it, when I coach, when I was working. Now I got to watch it up to the second with everyone in the community because they're going to spoil something if I'm like 12 seconds behind. God,
you're usually a lot longer.
Hey, what's going on with Kachuk? What's going on with this? What was your tweet right now? So, like, I can't. I wish I could. Adam, shout out to Adam because I know he'll watch this. He loves watching the games on replay or whatever. But we can't do that with the post-game show.
I don't know. It's just I don't get that, and especially like trying to rewatch a game. Like,
I've got to watch the Washington-Chicago game, which I'll go back and do that because I didn't.
Folks, he still has to watch Vegas.
I was eating at lunch
Stevie
at
R.
Bravo
Because the last 7
Peruvian
minutes of the
Kitchen.
Vegas, Florida
Great
Cup, everyone
lomo
wanted me to touch
saltado
bases 'cause the
and
season's
fried
over.
yuca balls were amazing.
Never had yuca balls at all. So
Hey Vince, you need to go to Wings Plus.
I was actually
bullshit.
What
That was
sponsor are we
so
getting?
bullshit.
What sponsor?
He didn't even wait that long for the fucking
How
booth.
are you still mad about that? That was 2 fucking years ago.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not gonna lie. I was actually it was my day off. I was laying in my bed watching the game, and when it happened, I actually got goosebumps. And I didn't really watch hockey when Gretzky was playing. This was a little bit before I started watching, so I wasn't able to see greatness like this. And just for me to be able to witness it on TV live was really, really cool. They ended up stopping the game. A great job by the players, both teams. It was really, really special, really emotional. Whether you like the Capitals or not, this is something that's probably not going to happen for a long time. So kudos to Ovechkin. Could you say he's probably one of the best ever?
I just want to add, I thought it might never happen growing up, knowing Gretzky. I was pretty young, knowing his game.
I think he's pretty much a top 10 player ever now.
Vince says Nick remembers watching Gretzky play. Oh yeah.
Kirby remembers watching Howie Morenz and Maurice Richard.
What's your exact question, though, Caesar, so I can answer it appropriately?
Well, so it's not a question like what emotions did you feel watching it happen?
The question that you said greatest, whatever. Like I want.
Is he like one of the greatest?
One of the greatest top 5 player of all time, or
top 10?
Top 10. Okay.
Borderline top 10.
I agree. I think top 15 for sure. I don't know
15, I feel safer.
Like what?
Because you got to have Crosby ahead of him.
Because here's the thing: like people say, I saw a bunch of tweets. Crosby, Ovechkin. Like guys, it's not even. And
like let's name them.
David's probably going to
Gretzky, Mario, Messier,
Bobby Orr.
That's 4.
Rocket Richard, Guy Lafleur.
I'm not putting Guy above Ovechkin.
Now, do you get into the Nicholas Lidstrom's?
Lidstrom, I think, is up there.
Like, are you putting Patrick Kane in that category? Because you're high.
Minnesota just tied it.
Gordie Howe.
Oh, how the fuck? Crosby, if you want to
Dennis Potvin, if you're talking not just
no.
Do you want to put a goalie there?
Phil Esposito is right in the same class.
Yager, I think you could put there.
Yager, yeah. I was going to say Yager. Yeah.
I think Phil Esposito and Ovechkin are close.
It's just with Ovechkin, if he had like another cup.
That's part of that plays into it.
So if he
Mark Messier.
If he wins a cup this year, where does that put him then? Depending on what he does in the playoffs, does that have anything to do with where you put him?
If he wins like a cup and a Conn
Yari Curry, I guess.
I'm not putting Yari ahead of Ovechkin.
How about Mark Messier?
I said Messier.
Messier, yes. Yeah, I'm not putting Curry ahead of.
Messier winning that cup in the Rangers clears Ovechkin.
Yeah, I'm not putting Yari ahead of Ovechkin.
Okay.
Here's the thing: it's like, and also it's like depending on like what Ovechkin does. Like I don't think he's.
Delaney would be in that tier with Ovechkin.
He is, but I'm not putting him over because Ovechkin has the Conn Smythe.
And then McDavid, mentioned Kirby, not yet. But I think
projecting ahead. I think he's
projecting ahead. I think it's McDavid.
I don't know about the other guys.
No, McDavid has to get a cup. I think.
Oh,
so I was hearing too,
or he has to win gold next year.
More gold.
Right. So I was hearing that I guess Ovechkin was too young the year before to enter the draft. If he would have entered that draft, Florida would have been his destination.
That is really
well. Here's the funniest story in the world, Caesar. They actually tried to fucking draft him.
That's crazy.
They tried to draft. They tried to say like leap years or whatever. We're like saying like it would have put him like.
Oh, fucker, that's a smart dude. I would have went to court with that fucking dude. I'm like, you're damn right.
And they tried like 3 or 4 different times to.
Yeah, they delayed the draft. People were
2 days. There were 2 days too young. Oh my god, that's crazy.
And the guy still works for the team, Rick Dudley, in a different role, obviously.
Dale Talon gives a huge shout out to Rick Dudley on Spitting Chicklets podcast. Check out that interview, everyone.
Look,
Everything Dale Talon.
like, you know what's funny? You can't hurt the fucking guy for trying.
No,
Like,
but it would have been
what's
interesting to see what.
like the worst thing they
He
could
said
have.
Rick Dudley was the first guy he hired. When he went to Chicago or Florida?
I don't know. I haven't seen the interview
Chicago.
yet. But it's
So
just
good, man.
like, I mean, I can't hurt Florida for trying.
Dale
He
Talon
might already been in
mentioned-
Florida. He might already been in Florida when
Vince says Dale Talon mentioned boo.
Vince, you gotta listen to that interview. He mentions Calgary, Alberta, Canada. You got the button there, Nick?
All right, let's play the fucking thing already.
All right, so this is a little tribute that Washington did for Ovechkin's career.
And before we do start, Kirby, because
I grew up on the mean streets of Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
There we go.
And the fucking guy was from Winnipeg.
No, incorrect. I can't see anyone. It's dark.
In the summer of 2004, there were two incredible Russian players that were being considered as number one overalls, Alex Ovechkin and Yevgeny Malkin.
The traditional pick may have been Malkin. You know, you try to build through center ice and on your defense, but Alex Ovechkin was so unique. When I called Ross Mahoney, said, "We won the lottery, what do you want to do?" And he said, "Ovechkin."
With the first selection, 2004 NHL entry draft, the Washington Capitals are pleased to select Alexander Ovechkin.
He was just that carefree kid, just happy to be here and happy to play hockey. That's all he wanted to do.
His passion on the ice endeared all the fans in the DMV. Hockey just took off once he got here.
The Washington Capitals begin the 05-06 season against the Columbus Blue Jackets.
The first time Alex Ovechkin got on the ice, the strides and the way he stomped when he skated, like you felt him stomping and you could hear his blades cutting in the ice.
He's flying around the ice, he's hitting everything, he's shooting from everywhere. This is a superstar here.
Sabres spins, Ovechkin fires, he scores! Alexander Ovechkin, welcome on board!
He came in with a bang, that's for sure, the first game.
Beer on why not, Leclerc the save, one more time, he scores! Ovechkin!
And then gives you 2 goals. He turns around and is basically like, folks, I just gave you my resume on day 1. You want to see this for 20 more years? And that's what you got.
Alexander Ovechkin, that beaming smile, a pair of goals in his NHL baptism.
You know, one little nugget on Ovechkin. His contract was the last of the contracts that had like those 13-year deals.
He was the very last guy?
Like, he was one of the last ones.
Oh, okay.
Like Kovalchuk was the true last one.
Yeah, okay.
But on the expiring deals, Ovechkin and Crosby were like
Shea Weber would have been, but I don't think that offer sheet was matched. But I still think what Nashville had to sign that. So
yeah, it's just
interesting.
But like that's always like a thing with Ovechkin. It's just like it was crazy watching him as like a younger kid because Southeast Division.
Yeah, I hated it because
and I remember my hockey coach used to show Ovechkin the film.
Oh, really?
And see, it's because you know, like kids want to be mimicking Alexander Ovechkin. I remember him
that was happening in the street.
And I remember with him with a little laser pointer just pointing up at the screen saying, "You see that, boys? You want to know we want to know one thing that's different between Ovechkin and you? You're not fucking Alex Ovechkin, so never do this shit ever again."
I love that he did that, Cody, because I thought you were going the other way. I thought he was gonna go you just say like emulate this guy. And Caesar, that's what I said. You're not LeBron James. You're not passing while you're in the air as a coach, right?
Like,
so I love that, Cody.
Yeah, he goes, yeah, you're not Alexander fucking Ovechkin, so you're not going to sit there waiting for a one-time and move your ass if you want the puck.
Oh, I like that. I didn't know you were
I love that.
Great stuff.
Like there are just some guys that you can't emulate. Steph Curry, one of them. I think Alex Ovechkin's one of them.
Yeah.
Where you have Gretzky's office, you have Ovi's office. And the St. Louis and Seattle are going into overtime.
Wow.
And Minnesota might be edging towards overtime.
And Nick looks like he's falling asleep.
Nick, it's after dark. Wake you
Long
up.
day. It's almost 1 a.m.
What are you going to do for the playoffs? Got to come back? Got to do content?
What did you do for that Carolina game 2 years ago?
You don't want.
He went to sleep.
You don't want to know.
No.
No,
Did
I'm
you fall
joking.
asleep on that game?
No, I was on Spaces.
Cody, we're up.
Were you?
Oh, okay.
You know what's funny?
Do you think my blood pressure was low enough to go to sleep in that situation? Let's
You
be
know,
honest.
you know what's funny? Me and Kirby were talking on Discord when that happened.
What, Cody?
We were talking on Discord when Kachuk scored that goal.
Yeah, we were all like in different group chats.
Yeah,
What was Kirby's reaction? He doesn't cheer for goals, I hear.
Kirby's reaction is always that, "Oh shit," like that type deal.
But I was confident, Cody. I liked how our game was.
Yeah, and it was
Those
just like
games I'm comfortable in.
Like, here's the thing. Like, I was like worried because I wanted to win that game so fucking badly, but I was sitting there like this. I was just like, because it was just boring hockey.
I don't agree with Cody.
For the longest.
Hey, here's the thing. After like the first, second overtime, I stopped getting nervous.
Yeah, it was just like, no, it's just at points.
But I wasn't nervous because how our team was playing. We were doing everything
Yeah,
right.
but it just felt like at points.
Well,
I'm
I
like,
mean, if we lost that game,
I can't believe Cody doesn't like that. That's a hockey.
no. Let me rephrase. Carolina was playing boring hockey.
But we're not Carolina Hurricanes fans. I don't care what
I know, but I just
Go back to what Cody said earlier.
I just sat there. I'm just like,
Ryan Lomberg was zooming around out there. I know Cody wasn't the
of course,
biggest
because he
Ryan
barely
Lomberg.
played.
yeah, it's
I
just
love that. It gave me energy. I'm like,
It was just like, I mean, check
Here
out,
at 1 a.m. Here we go.
check out the puck.
No, I felt like if we lost that game, that was just going to suck.
Oh, that's for sure. But I wasn't thinking negative thoughts, Nick.
But I didn't think we were going to
Once
lose.
I saw that
And
puck
anything can happen in playoff hockey. Please, Panther fans, whoever's listening to us, we have Capital fans in here, other fans of other teams. Anything can happen.
Anything.
So go into thinking that. We're all going to die one day.
And
Okay?
hey,
Whoa,
and if,
whoa, why are we going morbid here?
calm down there, Devin Cooley. But but hey,
Father Time defeats us all. Doesn't
to
Cody?
our South Florida fans,
Yep.
if we have a game like that, I don't want any fucking complaints because the Hurricanes this year had a football game that went to 2 a.m.
And
in
they're all on
California.
Spaces and YouTube.
I don't give a fuck.
Yep. Thank
Do
you.
not say anything about, oh, this game's taking forever.
No, but they say football's only once a week or whatever.
I don't give a fuck.
Doesn't matter.
I agree. Now, Cody's favorite sport, hockey. Thank you there, Cody.
I think we had a pretty good crowd that morning that we lost to.
Yeah,
one
you know, the
one
was
against
55.
Carolina. Did
Yeah,
a good
we had
job.
A lot of callers.
Good
Yeah,
job,
we actually
everybody.
have that one up on our Apple and Spotify feed, so we can go back and listen. No.
Yeah, you know what's funny is like I was so out of it in that game, like in that space, because I was just like, because my body started to relax.
Yeah, and I'm 2 hours earlier than you guys. Lex and others are 3 hours earlier than you guys, so I do realize that. So, Caesar, are we wrapping up tonight? Make sure everyone likes, subscribe, thumbs up on the videos. Join us for post-game shows. We have preview look-aheads here coming up this week. We don't know who we're playing quite yet, but we're going to have some on the YouTube platform and as well over on the Spaces X platform, so check those out with special guests planned.
So
Vince
yeah, real quick before
says-
we end it, just wanted to show this video, and then we'll kind of discuss it a little bit afterwards.
We don't
Ovechkin's
need to discuss it. We can go out
No?
on these.
Okay.
We're wrapping
That's
up
fine.
tonight.
And
Right.
it says Florida Panthers forever.
Signing off, people.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
I hit him! Yeah! I shot him with that and I got it! I swear to God!
My first golf game, and I scored one shot. And, like, you know, I shot it and I scored. Then I jumped and screaming, and what's so happy? And I said, "Where is Tiger? I didn't see Tiger here."
They say that when you get a hole in one, you're supposed to buy everybody drinks.
Yeah.
How come you didn't buy everybody drinks?
Soon I buy it because a couple of days and we have first game. I don't want our team will be drunk.
What's up, Cats and Rats fans? If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button before you head out. If you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. And just like always, let's go Cats!